Hello everybody, it's Jochen Hayden and I'm back with another tutorial, and today I'll be covering the companion piece to the Allied spreadsheet that I just did recently, and this is the Japan setup spreadsheet. This is done by the same guy, Kull. This is available on the forums, and I'll link this post in the video description. You can download a copy of the spreadsheet there, and I also have it available on my Discord. Now, this spreadsheet is a must if you are a brand new Japanese player and you don't have the slightest idea what you're supposed to be doing. Playing Japan is, in my opinion, at least initially, much harder than playing as the Allies. So a lot of people find themselves lost in the industry and the pilot management and all that stuff. So this spreadsheet will give you a good working understanding of what you could be doing playing Japan. Oh, a couple things you need to keep in mind. This spreadsheet works best with player-defined upgrades off, realistic R&D on, and it is intended to be played against the AI on scenario 1. If you're not going to be playing a game with these 4 characteristics or criteria, I don't know that this spreadsheet's the best for you. It is not optimized for playing against a human in a play-by-email campaign. You can try it. I don't think you're going to do as well as you could if you kind of use something else. But you could, I guess, if you're playing a new Allied player. So remember, you need these things, okay? So we'll go ahead and take a look at the spreadsheet now. And it is set up very similarly to the Allied spreadsheet. I highlighted this myself just to remind you guys that you need to meet these criteria here. Playing against the AI, player-defined upgrades off, realistic R&D on, and scenario 1. You can't really use this for scenario 2 because there's a lot of additional units and air groups and things like that added to scenario 2 that this won't encompass. So just like the Allied spreadsheet, you have a getting started section, which is this basically tells you how the spreadsheet works and what all the columns mean and everything. And before I get too much further into this, if you have not watched my video on the Allied spreadsheet, I strongly advise you to do that before you watch this one, because I'm going to be talking a little bit faster about some things that I've already covered in that spreadsheet, about how I kind of keep track of where I'm at, color coding, what some of this stuff actually means on the spreadsheet. I'm going to kind of go a little faster through that today on this one, and I'm going to make a couple adjustments. But if you don't watch the Allied spreadsheet video first, which again I have a link in the video description, this may not make as much sense. Anyway, here's a strategy and reference section if you want to read that. This is very nuanced for the Japanese spreadsheet setup and very important. CVL, CVE, CS unit resize plan. We'll talk about it later. Unit arrival dates is information only. Japanese air group upgrades, information only. Transports for key LCUs. This is similar to the one that the Allies have, where he tells you exactly what ships he recommends you move to, which location to move key units around. And the key units are all going to be in the form of divisions that you got to have. The unrestricted divisions the Japanese get. These are the transports by name and their location that he recommends you move with instructions to get these units down the road as he wants them to in his spreadsheet. This device tab is info only, bases info, industry information, region base listing, information only. Now, here's one. This is spicy. Kido Butai, second day of strike on Pearl Harbor. If you're going to be playing against a human and using this spreadsheet, first of all, I say don't do it. Secondly, if you're going to, I think you need to think long and hard about this second day at Pearl Harbor. This is not for the faint at heart. If you're playing the AI, you can probably get away with this. If you're playing with a halfway decent Allied player, this could get super risky, and I don't recommend you. However, if you really want to do a second day attack on Pearl Harbor, Kull gives you some suggestions on how to do it. If you're playing the AI, go for it. If you're playing the ally, human, don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you know what you're doing. It's not recommended. Anyway, so let's get on with it. So again, this spreadsheet is set up very similar to the Allied ones. And just like in that video, what I'm going to recommend to you guys initially is that you go ahead and hide columns M through AL because I don't think you need them. Okay, they're information only. I've never found myself looking at these, so I'm just going to go up to the top here. I'm going to click hide columns, and I'm going to keep going all the way to, what is it, column alpha kilo. So hide columns. There we go. I don't need those. Then I'm going to take this column Lima and make it way bigger, because I like to put notes in here, and I like to, you know, just have extra scratch paper, and I put it in this thing. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a change from my allied spreadsheet suggestions. In that one, I suggested that you filter out and sort through things that say no change or no action or static. I'm going to go ahead this time and say don't filter it, because I've had some issues with this spreadsheet in particular. Filtering, for example, if I click filter out no change, right? I found that it would start hiding cells underneath it that did not have that text in it. And some of those have actions you do need to take. So it's probably better for you if you not hide anything and you just go through, and it's going to be a little bit more click festy, but you won't have to worry about missing anything. So like I said in the previous video on these spreadsheets, if it's something that has no further action required and it can be complied with immediately, I use the color green. Okay, no change means I don't need to do anything with it right now. This one says plan for Ambon. All right, I'll plan for Ambon, and that's done for now. This one here, I would code yellow, because there's going to be follow-on actions to take, right? We're going to load on this amphibious task forces, right? 1 and 2, and we're going to invade the Vow. But that's not going to happen this turn. That's going to take a while. So I'm going to code that yellow so I can deal with it later. And if something gets blown up on turn 1 or on subsequent turns that, you know, you can't comply with that action because it's dead, I code it red. Like, I can't do that action ever, because whatever I was supposed to do died. One other thing I should mention to you, this spreadsheet can be run on turn 1 as a Japanese, or on turn 2 if you're playing with the historical first turn. If you're playing historical first turn, you have no control over what happens, and this spreadsheet will pick it up from day 2. If you're not playing historical first turn, you could run this spreadsheet, but I think Kull had intended for you to run a historical first turn on this, so it's kind of intended to be run from turn 2 on. Just thought I'd put that out there as well. Okay, so I've already gone over on the Allied spreadsheet how I run through this spreadsheet and what a lot of these instructions mean. But this spreadsheet also has a few important things that are critical to a Japanese player. For example, this spreadsheet does a great job dealing with the garrison issues in China. So let me tell you what I mean. Well, here, let's just go take a look at China, and I'll tell you what I mean. So we're looking at China, right? Over here. Almost every base in China has a garrison requirement. And if you don't properly garrison these bases, partisans can start attacking you, causing damage to the base. And whenever you have garrison disruption due to insufficient troops, it blocks the supply and through flow of resources through that base. It additionally will cost you 1 victory point per base per turn that is under garrison and experiences a partisan attack. So it can be pretty daunting dealing with these bases in here and trying to maintain garrison while keeping offensive operations going on. So Kull, let me bring you back to the spreadsheet, has thought of that for you, and he has a plan on how to deal with the garrison issues. I'll give you a quick example. Let's look at line 261 and on. Okay, it's starting to tell you about how to move troops to where and why. For example, at Chow Chow, it wants you to take this unit here, right? The what's this unit called? The 69th Independent Infantry Battalion, and it wants you to move mode to Swatow and plan for Swatow. Garrison unit for Swatow. Let's take a look at that. So we're looking down here at Chow Chow. Chow. I don't know how to say that. Jeez, I'm going to stop. Okay, it wants you to go to move mode, move it to Swatow, and plan for Swatow. And this is to comply with the garrison requirement for that base. Okay, because right now this base has its garrison, but in subsequent moves, Cull's going to want you to move this 19th Independent Mixed Brigade out because it has a lot of AV and it can be used for offensive operations. If you do that, you'll drop below the garrison requirement here, right? And you're going to start having issues. So to compensate for that, he's already planned that you're going to move this unit down into Swatow to take over for that. And he's going to have subsequent moves to backfill this one too. So this spreadsheet, let me bring it back to it. Let's bring it back to spreadsheet. It's important that you run it sequentially because each thing feeds on itself, right? If I do this cell here for garrison stuff and I don't account for it further on, I'm going to start screwing things up and I'm going to mess up the garrisons. So follow his instructions. If you want to do this spreadsheet, do it all the way. Follow it and you won't have garrison issues if you follow what he tells you, okay? That's very important for a new player because you won't know what you're doing otherwise. Okay, the next thing, industry. Now I've got some tutorials on industry if you want that for Japan, but still it's hard to know what a good strategy for industry production is. I can tell you how to do it. Like I can tell you what buttons to click to make the industry go where it wants to go and how to build it up, but the strategy is on you. And if you don't have one and you don't know what you're doing, no problem, because Kull has a strategy for you, and it's based off of not only what he thinks is good, but other forum people that are smarter than all of us that have figured this out, like Damien, among others. There's people on the forums that have a pretty solid industry concept, and Kull has taken a lot of their suggestions and incorporated it into the spreadsheet. Here's an example of one. Let's look at line 2571. Okay, he's going to tell you to go to Japan, right? Region Japan, City Tokyo, and convert this industry here, this Hitachi, to Nakajima H835 engines, right? And you're going to add 30 every month until the total hits 200 in mid-July. So this would be a prime example of a column that I would mark as yellow, because we're going to have to come back to this over the next days and weeks to follow up on these instructions, right? And you can keep notes to yourself like, okay, 30 of 200, and then next month you're at 60 of 200. If you want to follow his instructions, right, you could do that. And we'll show you what this looks like. So we're going to go to Tokyo and convert the Hitachi factory into H835s. So let's go up to here. We're going to go to engines. I like to sort by city. We're going to take these Hitachis and change them to H835s. Now, H835s are one of your most important engines early on because they power a lot of the most important aircraft you have, like the Zero, the KI-43 Oscar, among many others. And if you're doing research and development stuff, you're going to want a bonus. I'm probably overwhelming you if you're new to this. Just follow the instructions, guys. Right off the bat, this is going to be repairing up to 40, and next month we're going to do an additional 30 until we get to about 200 in July. Okay? And that's how you follow these instructions, right? All right, so in addition to industry stuff, which this spreadsheet will help you with immensely, it also has some pretty complicated pilot management stuff, but it's a good thing because it will help you learn, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's go down to line 3080. Okay, so there is a Nate squadron at Hylar, and he has a pretty detailed set of instructions for you here. Okay, so let's go ahead and execute this. All right, I'm gonna have a spreadsheet off on another screen. You won't see it, so I'll read off the instructions, and I'm gonna execute this plan here, just to show you how detailed it can get. All right, you see this? So let's go to Hylar. Let me go back into the game here. So we'll find Hylar, which should be kind of far up here. Okay, so let's see what the instructions say. All right, we're going to take this Sentai, put on drop tanks. We're going to transfer it to Changchun. Transfer to base. Changchun, right there. We transfer it there. Now we're going to turn our drop tanks off. Set train to 100 escort. Range 0. Okay, now what he wants you to do is take out 7 veteran pilots. And here, if we look at the spreadsheet real quick, I'm gonna go to it. If you look over here, it tells you he wants extra pilots, but before you do that, you need to take veteran pilots out. D plus 65 means the defensive skill at or above 65 to the reserve. Once we take out 7 pilots like that, we're going to add 11 replacement pilots. So let's do that. All right, let's go back in game. We're going to go into the pilot section here. We're going to sort by defensive. And we're going to go to reserve, and we're going to transfer 7 pilots with 65 and up defensive there. Well, unfortunately, I don't see a lot that do that. So we're just going to go ahead and just take these 64s. That's going to have to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now he wants you to add 11 replacement pilots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, that doesn't really add up, does it? I'm assuming he's going to... No, I guess it does. Okay. He just wants a little extra on top of that. So 36 pilots with... 40 pilots with 36 aircraft. All right. Long story short, let's get to the point here. I can sit here and try to debate this as we're looking at it. But the bottom line is, this is a pretty involved instruction, but he just gives it to you step by step. So follow it. And you'll be fine. I wonder if I moved the wrong Sentai. No, it's 9th Sentai. I don't know why he wanted the veteran pilots with D65 and up. They didn't have them, but anyway, close enough. But you get the point, right? These are very detailed instructions. And if you get down a little bit further, you can see this one is a long-term plan here. So this would be something that, so here, I would just code this as green because we're basically done with it. But this one, I would code it as yellow because there's going to be follow-on actions. This squadron here is going to be used for bomber training unit, and you're going to add replacement pilots and transfer them out when they get to 60 plus ground bombing and 60 experience. So that's going to be a constant thing you have to fall back and look at too. So that's why I code this as yellow, because you're going to need to refer to it a lot. Okay? Cool. Now, there's one other thing that I want to talk about here, and it's probably one of the most complicated parts of this spreadsheet. But boy, if you figure it out and you do it right, you're going to be a master of resizing aircraft. I have a tutorial on there for how to resize aircraft, but it's not really a plan. It's just telling you how to do it. Okay, let's zoom in here because there's going to be a lot we need to worry about. So what is this? A resizing plan. A lot of the Japanese aircraft squadrons can be resized to fit different ships, to increase their size, to put more planes and pilots in them. So Kull has come up with a plan to resize a significant number of your fighters, your bombers, and your seaplanes to better optimize their use for the game. Because what you start off with by turn 2 is not ideal. It's not well matched to the optimal way you can be running them. So here you see things coded in this light blue or medium kind of, I don't know, royal blue. Actions for the light carrier Zuiho and the Hosho, baby KB number 1. Dark blue here, navy blue. Oh, look at the colors are here. Okay, navy blue would be for the CS Chiyoda. Purple would be for the Ryujo and the Taiyo. And light blue would be for various AVs, CSs, battleships, and heavy cruisers, okay? This plan, as you can see here, starts at day 2. Or day 1 if you play without historical start. I think he wants you to play with historical start, so this would be a turn 2 thing. And now in our game here, I am actually on turn 2 because I already ran the turn just so we could be caught up to what Kull is saying in his spreadsheet. So we need to go ahead and run this now, and I will show you how to do it. We need to go slow and step by step because it is so easy to screw this up. So I can't stress it to you enough, guys. If you want to follow this plan, I recommend that you do for your first time because you may actually like what he comes up with. But if you do one thing out of order, you're going to screw a lot of stuff up because this thing is very touchy about how you resize aircraft. When I say this thing, I'm referring to the spreadsheet here. I'm sorry, I thought I had it on screen and I don't. So we're going to run, tell you what, we'll run this down to step 7, okay? Just so I can show you how important it is for you to follow these instructions. And my color coding methodology will work here as well. So let's start with here. Create an air combat task force containing only Zuiho. All right, and we know that Zuiho is over in Home Islands. So let's go over there to the Home Islands to Hiroshima, and we're going to create an air combat task force with only the Zuiho. There it is. Okay, that step is done. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to code this as green, right? So I don't lose track. The next thing we're going to do is select the size 9 Kate unit. All right, click no resize allowed. And we're going to click it again until it says resize to fit ship. So now we're going to go here. We're going to click on this size 9 Kate unit until it says resize to fit ship. Okay, that's complied with. Now I'm going to do that. Then it says disband the air combat task force. Look at the Kate unit and you'll see that the size has changed to 12. Okay, well, let's do that. So I'm going to disband this like he says. Now I'm going to go back and look at the Zuiho again. And again, just like he said, the Kate unit has moved up to size 12 to help fit the ship. So that is good. So we're going to go ahead and mark that as green. Now it says, here, back to the spreadsheet. Oops, I messed it up. Okay, once again, create the Air Combat Task Force containing only Zuiho, undocked. Now, remember, guys, follow every step. And transfer the now size Kate unit to Hiroshima. Let's do that, and then we'll come back because there's a lot of steps here. So let's go ahead and go back to the game. We're going to transfer this, make sure this is undocked, right? So we need to create a new Air Combat Task Force with only Zuiho. Make sure it is undocked. Take this Kate unit and transfer it to Hiroshima. There it is. Okay, going back to the spreadsheet now. It says, make it bigger for you guys. There you go. Once there, you're going to add 18 veteran pilots and select the unit to train at 100 naval attack, altitude 8,000, range 0. Note, you have to create the task force before transferring an air unit to the base, otherwise all planes are damaged. Note 2, the reason we perform a partial resize is so we can add new pilots right away, which was not possible when it was still at size 9. So there's going to be follow-on instructions to this, guys, but we're going to follow it as written now. So let me go ahead and go back to the game, and we're going to go to... okay. All right. Let's... There's a lot of instructions here. We're going to go down to this Kate unit, right? We're going to put it on naval attack. 100... Training at 100. Range 0. 8,000. Which I'm doing right here. There you go. 8,000. Range 0. All right. Additionally, he wants 18 veteran pilots put in here. Or I'm assuming a total of 18. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, we can't do this yet. And you know why? You see how we don't have the pilots here to do this? It's because we didn't run the rest of the spreadsheet yet. So this is something you're going to save to almost the end. Because it's going to require pilots that you don't have yet because we haven't run the other steps in the spreadsheet that will help us get there. I'll give you an example of that. So check it out. I'm learning as I go with you guys. Okay, I haven't run these in a while. Let's look at line 88 in the spreadsheet, and here's what I mean. You don't do the resizing plan until you do this whole thing. Here's an example, right? I'm sorry, 174. Let me get down to it. Do you see how this instruction here tells you no change, does not have an integrated attack unit? Accordingly, the Haruna 1 floatplane unit will be shipped from truck to Takao in 7 or 8 turns per the resize plan. So in the instructions here, as you're setting up to get ready to do this unit resize plan, it will tell you that, it'll tell you here in the comments here that this stuff is needed for that. Anyway, let's just go ahead and skip this step about the 18 veteran pilots because we have none in the pool, because we haven't done the spreadsheet all the way. We'll mark it green for now. Okay, let's continue on here. Select the size 12 cloud unit, click no size resize allowed, and then we're going to click it basically 3 times until it opens a box. And we're going to enter the number 30 and then click OK. So, again, complicated, I understand. Follow the instructions, guys. It's as simple as that. So it says go to the cloud unit. Click it 1, 2, 3 times until this dialog box comes up. Oh, you know what? Let me get you back in the game. There we go. Let's try it again. Watch. 1. You know, tell you what. I messed this up because I wasn't showing you guys. Let's start over. We go here. Click on the cloud unit. Type 1, 2. Basically a total of 3 times. Enter the number 30 here. Okay. Then it says to... All right, and we're going to make that green on this. Now it says disband the Air Combat Task Force. Look at the cloud unit. And you will see that it has changed to size 30. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to disband this. We're going to go back to look at the Zuiho. And there you go. Your cloud unit has now a size 30. Which I'll show you right here. There's your cloud unit. Size 30. Just like it said in the spreadsheet. Now it tells you to... okay. Step 7. Once again, create an air combat task force containing only Zuiho, undocked, and transfer the unit to Hiroshima. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll go here and click Air Combat Task Force with only Zuiho. Make sure it's undocked. Now take this unit and transfer it to Hiroshima. Boom. And now we can do other stuff with it, and we continue on the spreadsheet. So here's the takeaway. And you know what, guys? I didn't show you that because I forgot I was on the wrong screen. I manually transferred this unit over into Hiroshima, which is here. There you can see it right there. Okay. So the reason that you don't dock the task force is that if you have it docked, when you transfer the aircraft off, it will transfer them in a packaged up state, like they're getting craned off. If it's undocked, it assumes that the aircraft carrier is kind of sailing around and they flew off and they land intact. What I'm getting at here, because this is kind of lengthy, is this. This plan is great, and it will help you fine-tune all of your squadrons, but you have to follow it exactly as written, to a T. If you do anything out of order, you're going to screw it up. So I do recommend you run this resizing plan, but it is crucial that you follow the steps just like I'm showing you here. And if you can't, because something happened, you screwed something up and you got it out of order, mark it yellow and put a note somewhere that you got to come back and do this another day. What it will do is delay a lot of the subsequent moves on this resizing plan when a squadron that you accidentally moved the wrong way is stuck for a turn, and now you cannot continue on with the instructions for that squadron because they are, basically out of sequence. So read it slow, follow it step by step, and mark it and keep notes. but it's a great plan. Whew. So yeah, I've been talking for a while, guys, but again, this spreadsheet is incredible. If you're a new Japanese player and you want to take a crack at the AI and you don't know where to start with this. If you have any questions, by all means, please post them in the video comments or come to my Discord. I have a copy of this spreadsheet up in my Discord. I've used it before. I can help you with it if you have questions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.